Okay, so based on what we learned yesterday, is that when we are given the question itself, we try to observe for pairs. So a natural one to consider will usually be the first two terms with the next two terms. Okay, notice that I'm not putting brackets around anything because you don't want to end up putting in brackets and change the meaning of the question. Okay, so I'm just either underlining it, okay, or else I'll put these curly brackets to indicate how I'm going to go about doing my factorization. Okay, so this 3PQ and this positive 7RS, what's the common factor between them? Don't have, right? Okay, then we look at the other one, 3PR and 7QS. Is there any common factor? Don't have also. So actually this pairing over here, it doesn't quite work out for us. Okay, so this natural pairing that we're thinking about, it doesn't work. So what we need to then reconsider, okay, is to change the pairing, okay, to something else. So perhaps we can leave our 3PQ here first and think about out of the remaining three, okay, which one will have a common factor with 3PQ? 3PR. Okay, so let's bring the positive 3PR over, okay, and then after that pushing behind our positive 7RS and our 7QS. Okay, so we rearrange the terms in this particular case. Then we can observe for a pairing over here and a pairing over here. Right? So in our 3PQ and our 3PR, what is the common factor between them? 3P, right? So we take out our 3P and then the remaining things we leave it behind in the brackets, and that will be our Q followed by a R. Okay, so that is in our first pair. Then in our second pair, okay, what is a common factor between positive 7RS and positive 7RS? 7S, right? So we will put a plus 7S followed by a R plus Q. Okay. Do we agree that Q plus R and R plus Q mean the same thing? Yes, right? So since they mean the same, I can factorize out Q plus R, and then we'll be left with 3P plus 7S. Okay, so that will be the answer that we can get when we factorize this expression. Any questions? Okay. I think this is also a good time for us to think about how do I check my answer. Yes, expand. Okay, why is it that we should expand? Because factorization, as we understand, is the opposite, the reverse process of doing your expansion. So if I were to do my expansion over here, okay, I should be able to get back the same answer. Right? So we can do that check. Okay, that's why we must put our expansion skill properly. Okay, so Q multiplied with 3P, we will get 3PQ. Q multiplied with 7S, 7QS. R multiplied with 3P, we get 3PR. And R multiplied with 7S, we get 7RS. Okay, while the terms may not be exactly in the same position, okay, but the terms are there. We have the 3PQ, we have the 7QS here, okay, we have the positive 3PR as well as the 7RS. Right, so that is how we can go about checking whether our answer is correct or not. Okay, but keep in mind that when we write our answers, we leave our answer up to this stage. Okay, don't go and do your expansion and end up you get back the same thing. You're not doing factorization. So your answer ends here. This is solely for checking only. Okay. Questions? Next we look at part C. We have 6ax minus away 20by minus 8bx and plus 15ay. Okay, so how would we go about factorizing this question? I erase the checking process. Okay. So part C. Right? What will you do here? Let's call again. Someone's B1. Giselle. Giselle really always has to answer. Okay. And Giselle, what will you do? We wanted to rearrange the terms, okay, so that we can do our pairing and then we see if there's any common factor or not. Is there any common factor between 60x and negative 20y? Yes, okay, then tell me what is the common factor? 2, okay, and then what will be left? Minus 10by. Okay, then in the second pair, what do we get? What's the common factor? There's no common factor. Okay, so 8 and 15, there's no common factor. Bx and ay, there's also no common factor, right? Okay, and then we will be looking at an answer like that. Instead, what we're trying to do is factorization by grouping. So this is not the helpful process. Okay, I think nothing wrong for us to talk about this. Okay, or it may not be efficient for us at this juncture. Alright, but then we also notice that if we always insist on pairing up first and second like that, okay, we will not always be able to completely factorize it. Okay, so how should we go about factorizing them? Okay, so we rearrange the terms. 6ax plus, plus or minus, plus 15ay, okay, followed by, okay, alright, okay, and then what do we get after this? 3a, okay, factorize of 3a, followed by, okay, then in the second pair, what will you get? Positive or negative? Negative 4b, okay, followed by 5y minus 2x. You sure it's a minus? Y is your plus? Okay, yes. So because down here is a negative, we took out a negative, so down here is to be a positive. Right, thank you, I hope you succeed. Okay, so this is what Giselle has proposed. Okay, what do we think about it? You rearrange the terms, okay, such that 6ax and 15ay has a common factor of 3a, and then negative 20by and negative 18x has a common factor of negative 4b. Okay, and then furthermore, okay, because both has negative in it, that's why a negative sign was taken out. Okay, and that will actually result in a positive 2x over here. Okay, because the negative sign also got factorized out. Right? Then to wrap up the answer, we know that 2x plus 5y and 5y plus 2x are the same, so we can factorize that out. Okay, and then we get 3a minus 4b left, and then okay. Questions? Right? No questions. Let's try out on our own. Okay, part D. So I want us to try part D now. maybe I'll borrow Hillary's answer, right? Then between this 3HP plus 18KP, we notice that 3P is a common factor. That's right. Can we all see at the back? Can, right? Okay. Then after you can see. Okay. Then after that, negative 12KQ minus away 2HQ, the common factor between both is actually a negative 2Q, and that will affect the operation over here to become a plus, so we want to be careful about that. Okay, and that will lead us to extracting H plus 6K as a common factor. Okay, and then we have 3P minus 2Q as the other factor. Questions? Okay, did anybody do a different arrangement of your terms? So 3HP you attach it to which one? 2HQ, negative 2HQ. Okay, so maybe before that, you just put the toys, Cory's here, and then Clarice is there, and Jude is here. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Alright, so let me just use this space. What if we were to do 3HP minus 12KQ? This is the question itself. Okay, as for what HP tried, okay, which is 3HP minus away 2HQ minus 12KQ plus 18KQ. This is what you wrote down. Okay? So what if we did it this way? Right? How will it change in the way that we pay attention to this question? Okay? So with 3HP minus 2HQ, we observe that the common factor is H. And we take out H. Okay? And then we will be left 3P minus 2Q. Nothing wrong in this process, right? Okay. In the next pair of terms, we have negative 12KQ plus 18KP. What is the common factor that we'll take out in this case then? Negative 6 or positive 6? Okay, so how many of you say negative 6K? Anybody say positive 6K? Alright, okay, so if you were to do positive 6K, then what we'll be left with will be negative 2Q along with positive 3P. Correct? Okay. And then of course we must be able to recognize that 3P minus 2Q and negative 2Q plus 3P, do they mean the same thing? They mean the same thing, right? Okay, so maybe for some of us we don't catch that and we just write it out. Then I'm just changing the order. I can write 3P minus 2Q as well. Maybe it makes sense here, yeah? A minus 2Q. Right, then we can now extract out 3P minus 2Q and H plus 6P. Okay, and that will be giving us the same answer as well. Right, so it's fine to us to reorder it into this manner. Okay, just that over here we are extracting out positive 6K. I'm just wondering, just to stretch us a little, what if we were to extract negative 6K out instead? Meaning to say, from this step, I write H times 3P minus 2Q, negative 6K, and then what will be left with will be positive 2Q and negative 3P. Right? So I have, what I've done differently in this particular case is that I took out a negative 6K, not a positive 6K. Okay? It definitely affects this. But we recognize that 3P minus 2Q and 2Q minus 3P, are they the same thing? No, right? Okay, 3 minus 2 and 2 minus 3, they are different. Right? Then what can we do? Okay, so you may want to bring in a negative sign, okay, inside such that you change it into positive. That's one way of thinking. Okay, so that we get negative 2Q plus 3P. Then you are actually getting back the same answer. Okay, so we must be able to know how to manage, okay, problems as we are doing our working. Okay, because at each step you're making a decision, right? We need to look at where we are at, okay, and then rethink, okay, our plan if it doesn't go our way. Okay, and that's what we do in life as well. Okay, we make decisions all the time. Alright? Questions? Okay, let's move on to look at practice now 18. Okay, so I briefly observe these two terms and these two terms together, since they are common factors, right? Okay, so 6xy minus 15x, what's the common factor? 3x. And then we'll be left with 2y minus away 5. Right? Then we look at the second pair. Let me adjust this total. Okay, between positive 20 minus 8y, what's the common factor? Nina, you think? Positive 20 minus 8y, what's the common factor? Positive 4. Okay, so positive 4, then what's left behind? Very good. Okay, 5 minus 2y. Right, so we get this. Okay, and we agreed just now that 2y minus 5 and 5 minus 2y are different. Because 3 minus 2 and 2 minus 3 are different. So how do we actually manage this? Okay, so just now what we did was we tried to bring in the negative sign now, but this one is a positive sign. Okay, so let's just bring this discussion up first. Okay, we want to have 2y minus 5 and 5 minus 2y to be related to each other. Okay, so if I were to reorder this part into negative 5 plus 2y, this and this, we agree they are the same, they are equal, right? I just change the order only. Okay, but this and this here, they are different. They are not the same, but the alignment is somewhat there. Okay, there's just this negative sign over here and then down to positive sign, different from what we have here. Okay, what we could instead do is, what if I factorize out a negative 1? Okay, or in other words, I factorize out the negative sign here. Okay, if I were to do that, what is left behind inside our bracket? A positive 5 and then a negative 2y. Alright? Okay, I definitely cannot say that this and this are equal, but I can say that 2y minus 5 and negative 5 minus 1 are equal. Right? Okay, so using this idea, what we can do to bring it into here is that, okay, my 5 minus 2y or 2y minus 5, sorry, I should have done the other way around. Okay, in other words, I can also say the same about this, okay, so the same applies. Let me just write it out quickly. Okay, I can say the same for this, right? So I'm going to change this 5 minus 2y into a 2y minus 5, and that requires a negative sign on the outside. Hence, I'm going to change the positive 4 into a negative 4, okay, such that I can then have 2y minus 5 inside my brackets. Understand? Okay, why is it that down here is a negative sign? It is because, okay, our 5 minus 2y over here is equal to negative bracket 2y minus 5. So I take this and put it in here. My negative sign is effectively multiplying with the positive 4. Okay, so if you want longer steps to show you, I'll write everything in red. Okay, I replace the 5 minus 2y with its equivalent, negative 2y minus 5. Okay, and then I have the positive 4 and this negative sign multiplying each other so that I get a negative 4 and then 2y minus 5. Right? Okay, do you see what I've just done? That's it. Okay, then now we proceed. Okay, we can factorize out the 2y minus 5 and be left with 3x minus 4. Okay, and this will be our final answer. So to answer the question, practice now 18, you were asking for the two factors. We say that the two factors are 2y minus 5 minus 9ac plus 21c minus 4. Okay, yes, proceed. Okay, make it fast. Yeah, give you 3 minutes to go on this, right? So writing all 3 of them, kind of did it differently. Okay. We look at Ricky's answer first. Right? Ricky has decided to put brackets around the first 2 term and the next 2 term. Okay, while this has no impact to the original question, okay, I just want us to be very careful that when we put brackets, especially in front of the brackets is a minus sign, there will be an impact to the operation inside the brackets. Okay, so don't blindly put in the brackets. That's why I don't have the practice of putting brackets around it. Okay, that's why I put it in this curly sign instead. Okay, for us to identify the 2 terms. Okay, so this one is not a problem for this particular question, but we just must make sure we know what we're doing. Okay, then after that, what we did was factorize out 3a. Okay, and then we left 2b minus 3c, and then over here factorize out a 7. Okay, and then we get 3c minus 2b. So because 2b minus 3c and 3c minus 2b are not the same, okay, in order to flip this 3c minus 2b to be 2b minus 3c, okay, this must become a negative sign. Alright, and therefore we get the answer of 3a minus 7 and 2b minus 3c. So the 2 factors are going to be 3a minus 7 and 2b minus 3c, according to Ricky's answer. Okay, we jump to what Dylan has presented to us. Okay, he reordered the terms, he placed the negative 14b with the 6ab, okay, and then after that negative ac plus 21c together, for which he recognized 2b is a factor, and then for the other pair negative 3c is a factor. Okay, when he did this, he was able to get 3a minus 7. There was no need for us to do any flip. Okay, Mia, can you wake up? Alright, then after that 3a minus 7 and 2b minus 3c as well. Okay, so Dylan's method is fine as well. Okay, and then lastly for Joey, okay, she did the same rearrangement as what Dylan has done. Okay, just that instead of factorizing out a negative 3c, okay, what Joey has done is that she factorized out a positive 3c, which required her to observe that she needed to do a flip, okay, at one stage, okay, because negative 3a plus 7 and 3a minus 7 they are not the same. So instead of flipping over here on the right, she flipped the one that's on the left side. Okay, so to get this negative 3a plus 7, there's a minus sign appearing on the outside here, which is fine as well. Okay, then after she got the answer, which is the same. Okay, negative 3a plus 7 and 3a minus 2b. While they don't look the same, okay, they actually imply the same thing. It's just because of the negative sign. Okay? So, 10 points. Ricky, alright. Questions? Okay, so next we look at practice now 19, okay, part A. Are you done with part A already? Yes? Okay, then I'll call out 2 names. Okay, your part B finished already? Yes? Part B still not yet. Okay, we see. Alright, I'll call out 2 names for part A and 2 names for part B. Okay, get ready to stand up. Okay. You need to rearrange your terms. So am I right to say that you rearrange x squared minus 3x plus xy minus 3y? Right? Alright, so let's check the answers. Okay, so Mika has rearranged the terms. This was the original question here. Okay, and then she factorized out the x for the first two, and then for the next two terms she factorized out the y. Okay, and then she noticed that the factors are x minus 3 in both, such that we get x plus 1. Okay, the whole point about this question is that we must be able to recognize that x squared refers to x times x. Okay, so repeated multiplication is not the same as 2x. Okay, we have addressed this multiple times together. Right, so make sure you remember that. Okay, and then for Michaela, she also, not Michaela, it is. Okay. So for Iha, what he did was that he also rearranged the terms and then the same process applies. So both of them had it right the same way. Okay. Alright, for Mia and Joven, they did not do any rearrangement of the terms. They factorized out the same exact way. First two terms give this, next two terms they factorize out negative 2z. Such that we get 3w minus 4 and then same answer. Okay? Questions? Ethan, you process this? Mark it down. Okay, great. Alright, so give the points. Mika is there. Kirhao is also there. Mia is stay there also. Yeah. Okay. After that, Joven is staying here.
You guys are full, you guys
Okay, do one last question. Then we call it a day. Don't worry. Tomorrow there will be money points for you to earn. Okay, let's end the lesson with one major question. Okay, exercise 3D. Question 5A. Let's do this together. Okay, we should end our lesson in perfect. So, this question. How? Sure, I expand. I like my figures so far. I want to expand.
How don't need to expand. Is it possible if you exchange don't need to expand? Double. Times 2. Divide by 2 times 2.
Okay, so it has suggested expanding the whole expression first.
Don't.
Don't?
You think the numbers will get to
I think there is value in expanding actually. Okay, but okay, we hold that first. Okay, so we have suggested expanding it. Okay. I'll just count that method here first, expansion. Alright, anybody has a different alternative?
What do you need here? We can just factorize. We can just continue from factorization.
Okay, continue factorization. What do you mean by that? Tell me what to write.
Change. You do 144b bracket y minus 5x squared plus 12q minus 10x squared plus 2y.
Wow, you skip a lot of steps. I don't know whether the whole class will be able to follow. Okay. Alright, so okay, let me break it down. Okay.
Just say flip down there.
Wait. Alright. Okay, so for the benefit of some of us who may not be able to factor it so fast, okay, if we want to factorize it directly, it requires some level of observation, which was to, okay, observe that between y minus 5x squared and 10x squared minus 2y, there is some common things, common features. They both have the x squared, they have the y. And we observe that, okay, actually this is just a multiplication of 2. In fact, a multiplication of negative 2. Okay, so what you could do, right, is that maybe we factorize out a negative 2 first. Okay, and then Okay, and then negative 5x squared plus y, I just rewrite it into y minus 5x squared. Okay, right, so it does require a certain level of observation, okay, of what we're doing right now. Okay, then we observe that we have y minus 5x squared that's in common, and we left with 144p plus 24q. Okay. However, if you leave this as your answer to me in the exam, I will only give you 2 out of 3 marks.
Yeah, there's something that you can do, but it's...
Okay? I will tell you incomplete. Can someone tell me why is it incomplete factorization?
Because you can factorize 144p plus 24q.
Because there's still a common factor inside here. Okay, so pay attention. Okay, so there is still a common factor for which there's a common factor of 24. Okay, not just 12. 144 can be divided by 24. I press the calculator for that. Okay, and then we'll get 6p plus q. So we rewrite this into 24. We usually place a number in front. Minus 5x squared and 6p plus q. Okay, so that will be the answer. Okay, for you to get 3 marks for this question. Okay. And the operation. That's all. Yeah, but I'm here to plus or minus. I was just a multiply of the so is it plus or minus? Yeah, but it's not that I'm saying nothing plus or plus. Okay. Right, any questions? Okay, let's go back to what Iha was suggesting. Okay. Do expansion. There is value in doing expansion. Okay. Which I think is an intuitive method for many of us also. Okay. We go back to the format that we always usually face, which is 4 terms. Okay, so 1 over plus 5, what is it? 720 ex squared minus 120 x squared plus 24y. Okay, so with expansion, this will be what we get. Okay, one thing that we can do right at the start, whenever we deal with factorization, always check, okay, whether all the terms has a common factor or not. Okay, so I will put it here as strategy number 0. Okay, because that should be the basic thing you do all the time. Check across all terms for common factors. Okay, so if you had done that check, you will notice that every single number here can be divided by 24. Okay, and then you will be able to get 6py minus away 30, is it? 30px squared minus away 5. Sorry, numbers plus qy. Okay? Then after that we do our pairing. So 24, okay? Between these we have a common factor of 6p, y minus 5x squared. Okay? And then minus or plus q, negative 5x squared plus y. Okay, and then we see that they are the same. And hence we are left with y on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which one you ask that due on Monday, right?
Yes, it's too much next month to use.
Next month, then you want to take the next year lah. Okay, due on Tuesday, right?
So this one not that far away. It's just only after 1 5 hours.